Hello everybody, my name is Michał. It has been a while since my last video, sorry it took so long, and since I do not want to bore you with my personal life, let's talk about Gwent, the Witcher card game closed beta. I finally got the beta key before Christmas and want to share my opinion on what is good and what is bad. Let's start with the good things. Number 1, the new card game mechanics. I played Magic the Gathering in my teens. Fun fact, I sold my cards after a few years of playing for more than I bought them for. I played also Magic Online a few years ago and Hearthstone last year, both on PC and my smartphone. The difference between Magic and Hearthstone are in my opinion subtle, so I find it's really refreshing that Gwent isn't a clone of these games, but brings new interesting mechanics into the deck building card game genre. I'm talking here about the introduction of the 3 different rows, melee, range and siege, and the 2 rounds to win system instead of health points. The 3 rows allow you for interesting synergies, combos and tactics. The 2 rounds to win system adds another layer of tactical choices, since you do not only have to think how to win this round, but also if you should try to win this round at all. That's very important. Both rows and rounds are easy for me to understand, and it's not something complicated where you need to look up on the forums, on a wiki or YouTube how that works. Number 2, new cards every few games. One of my biggest problems with Magic Online and Hearthstone was that getting new cards just by playing was very slow process. In Gwent you win around 6 rounds daily and you get more than 5 cards. 6 rounds, that's just 3 wins or 6 or more losses. In Hearthstone you needed 30 wins to get 5 cards. I know Hearthstone has also daily quests, but still most of the days I played Hearthstone I didn't get new cards, and in Gwent I probably averaged 4 games for a new pack of cards. I have no problems with spending some money, but with both these games I felt like you need to spend some serious cash to really be able to create interesting decks. And I looked at this like this. If I have to spend $50 to buy enough cards to have some fun, that's really expensive for a card game. You can get a AAA game for the $50. Not only get you cards in Gwent much faster, but the decks you start with have already a lot of good synergies, and you can still do very well with the basic decks, which in my opinion isn't the case with Magic Online or Hearthstone. I only hope that you will have enough things or incentives to spend cash for in Gwent and CD Projekt can make some money. One earlier videos I made on my channel was about not having anything to buy in the Witcher Battle Arena, and I hope in Gwent there will be things besides cards you can spend your money on. Number 3. Stable game with little crashes. For a closed beta, Gwent runs really smooth. This game feels like CD Projekt spent already a lot of time and money on it. There are small problems. When you open friend match, you are stuck in the invite screen and there is no way to close it. If you find an opponent initially but the connection is lost before the game starts, you are stuck in the game loading screen. But these are small issues that really do not bother me much. This closed beta runs much better than the Witcher Battle Arena a few weeks after it launched. Number 4. Always finding games, which are fairly close. This was a big problem with the Witcher Battle Arena. It was really hard to find a game. Often you waited for 5 minutes without being able to find a game. Games will be partly filled with bots, though CD Projekt insisted that there is not such a case. Plus games were often one-sided and it was really hard to come back. Of course in Gwent, where you play only 1v1s, at least so far, this task is much easier. But still, I am positively surprised that within 50 seconds I almost always find an opponent, and that the games are very close and you never can be certain if an enemy doesn't have one last card that can change even a big point lead into a lost round. Number 5. The Send Good game mechanic. I know not everybody likes it, but I think it's a good addition. Whenever I get the GG, I feel like my opponent is friendly and it gives a good vibe. Maybe this is because I'm a little bit tired of games where the chat is always full of insults and hate. Now let's talk about bad things. Please remember that I am talking about a closed beta. This is a game still in development and it should improve and get additional content. Number 1. High system requirements. I know my pick is for number 1 bad thing about Gwent beta, will surprise you, a lot of you. So are the system requirements really that high? Well, if you bought a new desktop PC in the last 3 years, you should be fine. The problem is that desktop PCs accounts only for 20% of all desktops, PCs, laptops and tablets sold last year. With the relatively high graphic card and processor requirements, many laptops won't be able to run this game. I experienced this myself. I bought a few weeks a new 2-in-1 tablet notebook with Windows 10. I even didn't check if Gwent will run on it before my purchase. I was sure it will. I mean, Gwent is a card game. It didn't even cross my mind that this card game requirements could be too high for a brand new notebook. So while away on Christmas, I was shocked that my new notebook cannot run this game. The problem with the high system requirements is even bigger when you look at the highest grossing online PC games of 2015. All the top games made more money in 2015 than CD Projekt from The Witcher 3. But almost all of the top games have such low system requirements that you can run them on a PC from 2004. Gwent requires more like a PC from 2014. Why do all the top online games have such low requirements? Well, it's mostly because free-to-play model is very popular in poorer countries, especially in China, which alone has 400 million gamers. Many cannot afford a good PC, and most internet cafes in those countries have very old PCs. Accessibility is way more important than graphics in the free-to-play genre. And let's not forget, Gwent is a card game. Good graphics and animations are nice, but how important are they? For me, it really doesn't make a big difference if it's graphics from 2004 or 2014 for such a game. Number 2. Not knowing what a spell does. It happens to me many times, especially in the beginning. My opponent plays a card and I do not know what happened. As far as I know, there is no way of reading a spell card that your opponent has played. While you can check a unit card, you cannot read a spell card, only see its cover. Of course, after the game you can look for it in the card collection section, but you should be able to do it in game and read the card description. Also, the card descriptions aren't perfect either, which brings me to my second point. Number 3, no glossary or wiki. While there will be more information from either CD Projekt or Place in the future, right now I have problems with understanding what certain words mean. For example, what is a breedable unit? What is a non-relentless unit? I tried to Google breedable unit and look for explanation on the official Gwent forum, but couldn't find an answer. That makes it hard to understand how certain cards work. Number 4. Little incentives in trying a new deck or grinding card. The first week I've been playing almost entirely with the Skalik deck. I do quite well with it, probably win around 85%. Probably since the beta doesn't keep any stats of your games played for you. While I tried all of other factions, I do not really have any incentives to play the other factions because you only benefit from winning. Many top online PC games have quests that give you special benefits like gold in Hearthstone for playing a certain style of certain faction. The very successful wargaming franchise is also quite good at it. And while we are at the wargaming franchise, they have really strong incentives that makes you play a lot and grind every day to unlock a new cool commander skill or ship. So far, I haven't seen anything of that in Gwent. While you have to get to level 10 to unlock the ranked games, you do not seem to unlock everything else. In my opinion, they should introduce certain milestones that will allow you to unlock certain cards or factions. For example, you could unlock a new deck like the upcoming Nilfgaardian deck only when you reach level 20, and a new deck for each next 10 levels. You could also unlock certain cards when you win like 100 or 1000 times with a certain faction. I really think these grinding mechanics keep players playing much longer than they would without. I would probably stop playing World of Warships some time ago, but I really wanted to get one cool tier 5 commander skill and a tier 8 German Bismarck battleship, and getting them requires really weeks or even months of playing. Number 5. Balancing card and factions. People seem to complain about balancing issues on the Gwent forum. My only problem so far is that 70% of my opponents so far have been using the monster deck. That makes sense since the other ones do not seem to be as good as the other factions, but the Skellig deck is also very strong for beginners in my opinion. I do not really think this is a big issue since balancing should be sorted out before the game launches. Overall, I really like Gwent as a standalone game so far. As I said, it is quite stable and brings fresh air into the genre. I am mostly worried about the high system requirements for this game, which will probably limit the player base. Let's hope the system requirement won't be as high for mobile version of Gwent, which I'm sure will follow in the future. I will probably follow up with a guide for a beginner Skellig deck the next week. Thank you for watching, please subscribe and check out my other Witcher 3 videos. Chance of an instant kill, which you can see here. Another way to use the free adrenaline points is for rend, the alternative attack that you can perform while holding the strong attack button.